Hello, friends. Adam here. Today marks the 25th anniversary of one of the most interesting and one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. That game is Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Or more commonly just called Super Mario RPG. Or just Mario RPG, even. From that game stemmed tons of Mario RPG-like games that have become favorites of many. I don't think without Mario RPG we'd have Paper Mario. We wouldn't have the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga series. And, their crossover, they had that weird crossover Paper Jam. But also just like those games in general. I know a lot of people aren't very hot on the newer Paper Mario stuff. But, Paper Mario for the 64 and Thousand Year Door, great RPGs. And they all kind of hold this same similar mechanic that Mario RPG might have not been the first game to do it, but I think it was the best to do it in its time. And that is the active battle commands. In battle, in Mario RPG, every attack you do, you can press the A button or just like whatever button in timing with the attack, and it will either like, you have Mario who has like punching gloves, right? That's one of his items. Mario has a bunch of different weapons. Like, he's like punching gloves. He has the shells. He has different size shells. He can kick. He can hammers, whatever else. But for the instance with the punching gloves, if you time your button press at the right time and you punch him, it'll be a double punch. It'll be like punch punch instead of just punch, and it'll do extra damage. And every character has that going for them. And I think that is such a fun, engaging mechanic that solves one of the biggest problems that JRPGs, I should say, have. And by JRPG, I should say, I really should even specify even more and say turn-based JRPG. And that is the disinterest the player might have in the battle system, or that they'll get bored, or they'll get taken out of the experience, because really all it comes down to is mashing the attack button for a lot of those random encounters. This mitigates that by making every battle a fun challenge to both deal extra damage so you can get through the battle faster, and also you can, defend. You can press the that same button at the right timing to take less damage from attacks. Is that necessary to beat the game? I don't think so. I'm sure there's some challenge video somewhere on YouTube that says, can you beat Mario RPG without doing any action commands or whatever they're called in the game? But it doesn't mean that they aren't really fun and really cool. And on top of that, there are really fun commands to do with special attacks. Like Mario has a super jump, which is, you can literally do it infinitely. It gets really hard. The timing gets extremely tight, but as long as you're pressing the attack button at the right time, the jump button at the right time, essentially, Mario will just keep jumping on enemies. And there's even like special items you get if you get high enough, have a high enough jump total in one attack, which is so cool. So cool. And then there's all sorts of other ones, like you get rewarded for mashing really hard for using Mario's Fireball special, stuff like that. So I think Mario RPG partially, in a way, solved random encounters by making them fun to do still, by still adding an action element to your turn-based JRPG. And I mean, we still see this, and we saw that especially on like the next era of RPGs. Look at is it called Legend of a Dragoon, right? That one has all sorts of action timing based stuff. Lost Odyssey had some time based stuff. Even like Final Fantasy VIII had the weird gunblade thing that I didn't really. I honestly didn't. I didn't feel like the game explained it very well. But either way, that's a whole thing. And games still do it today, because it's a simple and engaging way to make the player feel like they are really have a say in what happens in the battle. On top of that, the story of Mario RPG is actually really interesting. So I'm gonna spoil a couple things here. Nothing crazy. Actually, never mind. Some of my favorite moments are pretty crazy, so I'm going to spoil them. for you here. So if you haven't played Mario RPG, I don't know, go play it. It's a good game. I'll say that. And subscribe before you leave. But for those who have played the game or don't care about spoilers, I love the little twist of like Mallow's true heritage, right? It's not even like a twist, really. Like, he's obviously not a tadpole. He's not a frog. Like, it's obvious that Frog Fuchsius isn't his real grandpa or real dad or whatever he says he is. He's like this weird little cloud dude. And when he cries, it rains. Like, what? Of course he's not just some frog. And it ended up being a really fun realization for me as a kid that, oh, Mallow is a freaking, like, prince. He's a prince. And it's this whole wacky, zany thing that this lady's trying to pull the wool over their eyes, you know, of the true king and queen and all them, that this penguin parrot bird dude, this big bird dude, is apparently, you know, the prince or whatever, the long lost son of the king and queen of Cloudland. It's just ridiculous because he looks nothing like them, right? But for whatever reason, it works. Until Mallow steps in and beats the crap out of him, which is awesome. And I think my favorite area in all of Mario RPG, though, is Booster's Palace. The music is so good. Music is so good. And then just, this is the cute little things, like the little game where you have to hide from the enemies behind the curtains. Like, that's really fun. The thing where you can go and you go behind behind like a changing curtain yourself or whatever, and you come out and you're, you know, 2D little Mario running around, which is really cute. It's just a really fun area altogether. And also at that point you have a fun party. You know, you have Bowser's in your party at that point. That's actually how you break in. He just like rams into the door with his shell, which is funny. You have a cast like Mario's, of course, there. You got your Genos, your Mallows. Really fun party, really fun cast of characters to play as in that game. And then at the end of it, you get Peach, which is cool. You also fight a giant cake at one point, which I think is hilarious. It makes me think of that show. It's called Man vs. Food. I don't even know if it's still on TV, but this guy, his name was Adam too, so I liked it because my name's Adam, you know. This guy would just take on these big food challenges all over the country, the U.S., and by crazy food challenges, I mean like these restaurants that would have like, oh, if you eat this 72-ounce steak in 30 minutes or whatever, then you get it for free. He would go around and just do stupid challenges like that, or like eat these six spicy wings in 6 minutes or something, stuff like that. And it was really, really interesting to watch. Anytime I got to the cake battle, it really did make me think of that. Fighting a giant cake was pretty funny. So, yeah, Man versus Food. You gotta fight your cake. But those are just some of my favorite memories from the game, and I just love Mario RPG, man. Really fun. The battles were really engaging, even though it was a turn-based RPG. There was just always enough fun twists and turns along the way to keep me interested. Oh, the Axum Rangers, that's hilarious. Freaking Power Ranger spoof. Like, in my Mario RPG, alright, I'm in. Just really cute, charming, fun stuff. And if you haven't played Mario RPG, you definitely should. It is so good. It's for the Super Nintendo, so that is, I believe you can get it on the Wii U eShop, if that's still a thing you can do. It's also just, you know, you can find it around, if you know what I mean. It's a fun game to play, and I would definitely recommend checking it out at some point, because it's one of the landmark titles in my life. And also in just gaming in general, in my opinion. So, play Mario RPG. It's really, really good. But also, subscribe to this channel. We're still small. We're growing, though, and I'm enjoying posting these videos here. Please also like the video if you did enjoy the content. And comment your thoughts. What are your favorite moments in Mario RPG? Or maybe even, why haven't you played it? Why you don't like it? I don't know. I just want to have a fun discussion about Mario RPG. So please share your thoughts, and I'll go down there and read them. It'll be great. And again, really, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time, friends.